Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are doing fine. My name is Miss Mavishina and today we are going to talk about basic sentence structure. In our previous slides, we have talked about um, reading and writing process. And as you know that writing process include one basic thing, that is sentence structure. We have not talked about sentence structure up till now for two reasons. Number one, that in our previous semester we have already talked about basic sentence structure in quite some detail. And the number two is that in your syllabus breakdown it was enlisted at the end of the syllabus. So since we are almost done with it, so let's talk about basic sentence structure. Today's lecture is going to be a reinforcement of what we have already done in our previous semester. So I hope that you have the prior knowledge in your mind somehow. Let's talk about it a bit more. Introduction. Words. What are words? Meaningful sound that is a unit of language. A single unit of language with some meaningful sound makes up words, right? Then sentence is a group of words that has a complete thought. Sentence means a complete thought which can stand at its own, right? And paragraph is group of related sentences conveying a complete meaning or a complete knowledge about a certain topic, about a certain thought. Okay, here we can see that a sentence is made up of two basic things. Although there are three basic things in a sentence structure, that is subject, verb and object. But here we are going to talk about subject and predicate, right? A sentence is basically made up of subject and a predicate. Yes, there is object as well and verb as well, but we will see how a predicate is made up and where verb and object has been placed in order to make a complete sentence. Okay, what is a subject? Subject is a doer of an action. In a sentence, a person or mostly it's a person who is doing some action is known as subject, right? It says that subject can be noun, a pronoun, a gerund, infinitive, or clauses. As you know that we are already done in our first semester. We are done with gerund, infinitives, and clauses. So I'm not going to repeat it. If you want me to repeat it, just let me know, and I will make a separate slide on that. Right? Okay, and where is the subject usually placed? It is placed before or after verb. Mostly there is one subject in a simple sentence. When we'll be doing sentence types of sentence construction, I will be telling you about simple and compound complex and so on and so forth type of sentences. But for now, let's stick to it that mostly in a simple sentence, subject is attached or placed before the verb. As you can see in this example, Jane went home late, right? So in this sentence, the name written in red color is subject. Similarly, Maria is the smartest student of the class. So in this sentence, in the second sentence, Maria is the, as it is the proper noun, therefore it is the subject, because Jane and Maria are the basic names who or the basic doer of an action, right? What action Jane is doing? She went home late. And what action Maria is having? She's the smartest student of the class. Then we have predicate. What is a predicate? Predicate is the information about the subject. As an example, just look at this. Jane went home late, right? Jane went home late. Now in this sentence, you can see that there is this verb. Jane is the subject, went is the verb, home is the object, and late an additional information about Jane, that how did she or when did she reach home. So except subject, whatever there is in the sentence is predicate. सब्जेक्ट को छोड़कर बाकी सारा जो हिस्सा होगा सेंटेंस का, that will be your predicate, right? See the second example. Maria is the smartest student of the class. Maria को छोड़ दो, right? Is the smartest student of the class is your predicate. Simple. It is very easy that you leave the subject out and the rest of the sentence will be your predicate, which may include verb, object, adverb, adjective, preposition, article, whatsoever is there in the rest of the subject, in the rest of the sentence, that will make your predicate. Okay, now we have object. The object is the person or thing affected by the action described in the verb. How? Jane read the book, right? Who read the book? As you can see, that book has been highlighted over here. Who read the book? Jane. And there we have verb, that is read. Jane is subject, read is object, read is verb, and book is object. Then there is article. I was just testing if you can just recall it in your mind, right? Okay. Jane read the book. Now in this sentence, if we leave Jane out, the rest of the sentence will be predicate. Jane is the subject, read the book will be predicate, but if we further dissect the sentence, read will be verb, the will be article, and book will be object, right? Similarly, Maria was cooking the meal. In this sentence, Maria is the subject, and what is she doing? She is cooking. What she is cooking? The meal. So as you see that the effect is on the object. Object over here is meal, because meal is being cooked by Maria, right? So in this sentence, Maria is subject, whereas was cooking the meal is predicate. And if we further dissect the sentence, was is helping verb, cooking will be verb, the again article and definite article, and meal is object, right? Okay, what is the difference between definite and indefinite article? The is definite article, and when do we use it? When we are talking about some specific thing, right? Where from, or we are talking about for example, I say the girl in the class was reading a story, right? So it means that one particular girl, not every girl from the class, right? That one particular girl from the rest was reading a story, and not in every class. The class that it is, we are talking about the class, a proper class, a definite class in which that girl was reading a story, right? So the is definite article. On the other hand, a and an is an indefinite article, right? When we do not know about definite person, definite thing, in fact definite thing, we use a or an, right? And when we know exact about our when we are talking about some specific detail, then we use the, right? I hope that you will keep this in mind, because many a times, no matter how many times I have told you, since many of you are my students from intermediate as well, so I've told them in my in the second year as well, that you are not supposed to use the with proper noun. Many of you make that mistake. Proper noun is proper itself. It is, proper noun means some specific person, right? We are talking about some specific person when we name. For example, many of you used to write the Arthur, right? Why? Or the Norma. You can see that Norma itself is a proper noun. We do not need to use the along with it to make it more proper, right? Similarly, it was Brookfield School, not the Brookfield School. So these are the mistakes that you usually commit while writing your answers. Keep in mind, when you have definite noun, proper noun, you do not need to use definite article, because proper noun itself is self descriptive. Itself, proper noun is itself can stand out, right? Okay, coming back to this, I hope this is clear that a sentence basically have three parts if we talk other than predicate. Three parts: subject, verb, and object. Subject means the doer of the action, verb means the action, and then object means on which the action is being done, right? And if we talk about in terms of advanced grammar, so we will say that a sentence is made up of two major things, that is subject and predicate. Subject means again the doer of the action, and predicate is the other information about subject. Whatever subject को निकाल के whatever is left in the sentence is predicate. That predicate can have noun, pronoun, adverb, adjective, verb, object, article, or conjunction, or whatsoever. What other parts of speech do we have? A predicate can contain all those part of speech, right? Okay, here we have verb. A verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence, and forming the main part of the predicate of a sentence. Because if there is no verb, the sentence cannot be completed. For example, Jane home late. Forget about went. Does the sentence convey a complete sense? Jane home late. It does not convey a complete sense, right? So therefore, you cannot leave verb out of the sentence. Again, Jane went is in bold, in highlighted. Jane went home late. Went is your verb. The dog was barking. Barking is your verb. On the other hand, dog is and Jane are subjects, right? Home is object, and in the second sentence there is no such object. An object can be missing from the sentence, but you cannot miss the subject and verb. Then if you see closely, Jane is subject and went home late is your predicate. The dog is subject and was barking is your predicate. Now you see in the second sentence, in this sentence, was barking, there are only two things in your predicate. One is your verb and the other is your helping verb. So you can notice that there can be more than there can be one or more than one things in predicate. For example, she reads. Now she reads itself is a complete sentence, right? It conveys a complete meaning. But there is only two things in the sentence. One is your subject and reads is your verb. right? On the other hand, subject and predicate, and the predicate only includes verb. I hope this is quite clear to you and this does make some sense to you, because you are already done with this process in your first semester as well. All right, I'll stop here for today's lecture. If you have still any confusion about your subject, predicate, object, verb, feel free to contact me and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And that's all from my side. Keep smiling. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.